Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Dom Fenton from Panathlon People, and this is one of the first ones we're looking at the beginning of the next academic year. And today we are joined by Debbie. Hi Debbie, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Good. Do you just want to introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and who you work with and for?
Yeah. So my name's Debbie Davies. I work for Bolton Wanderers in the community, and I'm the Disability Projects Officer there.
Brilliant. So let's start at the very beginning. Obviously, working for Panathlon as I do anyway, and we've just sort of said this off camera. How did you first get involved with Panathlon and, through Bolton Wanderers? How did all of that start?
So initially I came to work for Bolton Wanderers working with young adults with disabilities. And I just got in touch with some colleagues that I'd previously worked with in the field of disability. One of them being Steve Sullivan, that was based at Greenbank in Liverpool. Went over to meet with Steve to see whether we could look at doing any joint initiatives. And Steve mentioned that he was obviously working for Panathlon. So as a result of that meeting, I got put in touch with Tony, and the rest is kind of history. Yeah, it's just kind of grown and grown from there.
Right, love it. And what we'll do, we'll obviously through this podcast we'll touch on how it's grown and where it's all started. So in terms of the initial conversation, what were your first thoughts of Panathlon and what they did?
I was really impressed. It was obviously a national charity, and that not only does it obviously deliver the pathways for the children with SEND, but also the other things that it added value with. So like the sports leadership training, I love that. I love the fact of the Panathlon ambassadors, that you had Q&A sessions with Paralympians. So whilst I was confident that I could deliver the programmes within Bolton Wanderers that were very similar to Panathlon, working with Panathlon was kind of a no-brainer. If you can work in partnerships, you're stronger together, aren't you? So Panathlon are really passionate about giving the same opportunities as Bolton Wanderers in the community are. So it just seemed like the perfect partnership.
Love it. Yeah, I like that. And I think it is really important to be open-minded about who you work with and the support that you can give each other in terms of what you do.
Definitely.
Good. So when did all of this start? So when were your first conversation with Tony?
Oh, you're taking me back now. I don't know, maybe 2019, maybe something like that.
Okay, so that brings me on really nicely to the next part. So obviously the original work started then, started looking at what we can do, and then all of a sudden there was this other thing that happened, wasn't there, called the pandemic.
Yes.
So in terms of that and potentially how yourselves reacted and how Panathlon reacted, what did you think of that? How did you see that working?
So pre the pandemic, Panathlon had come and they delivered a couple of events within Bolton, which was the primary Panathlon festival, and we'd had the Extend and a swimming gala. So I'd seen the face-to-face events. I was getting quite familiar with how they run. And then obviously, like you said, we had the pandemic that hit, and it was kind of like, well, we've moved forward really, really well, and we didn't know how long the pandemic was going to last. So it was kind of like, well, how can we be innovative and what can we do? I mean, I'm a mum of 2 young children, so I was getting all the homeschooling while still working. Part of that was PE, and it was kind of like, well, how can we deliver more inclusive opportunities to the children that are home learning? So yeah, there was kind of like a real growth within that. In Bolton as well, I worked really closely with the school games organisers, Bernadette and Brian. So there was lengthy discussions that we had as to what can we do for the Bolton schools. Spoke obviously to Tony about what Panathlon in the wider context we're doing, and obviously there was the little miniature videos, and we were obviously going out to PE leads. and just giving them practical activities to do within the home. So I know, like, I got my own children involved in creating little skill stations. We were doing temping bowling in the hallway, and it was like, oh, this works, this is fun. How can we put that into a school context? So it was just trying out different things. And then within Bolton itself, what we did is through the school games organisers, I put on a virtual training session, which was a Panathlon based inclusion in sport. So we set up quite a few virtual competitions. And basically I went through on Zoom, similar to this, with the schools as to how they can actually run it within their school. So it was like, for example, this is temping bowling, this is the equipment you need, this is the adaptations you can make, this is your score sheet, etc. And what I did is with Bolton Wanderers equipment and Panathlon equipment, I just used to leave it at the football stadium. And I had schools do like a booking process. So they come in the morning, they pick up the equipment, go and deliver the event in their school that day, drop it off that night, and then another school would come in the next day and they repeat it. And by the end of the week, we'd have a collection of results, and then I could announce, right, the temping bowling winners are, and we just did it that way. So the children were still getting that competitive element, but obviously they were doing it on the schoolyards, in the corridors, in classrooms. And it just grew and grew. There was a real need for it from the schools, and we were getting really positive feedback. So I think we had nearly 20 schools involved within that virtual, and one of the local hospices, Darian House as well, they were involved in it. So it worked really, really well.
I love that, and the way, and when you're talking, you start smiling when you think about it. But that's what we want, and that's that's part of the reason we do these sort of podcasts, is because actually we can show that animation, we can show that passion, how passionate people are about what you do and what we do. Yeah, and I think and that certainly comes across. So talk to me about how the hospice got involved.
So the hospice, so we were doing obviously school-based events for Children Waste End, and I just kind of thought, well, we've got a lot of children that have special needs or medical needs that aren't always in education. So why should they actually miss out on the opportunity to represent a team? So got in touch with Darian House. Bolton Wanderers in the community already have a strong link with Darian House. And basically the staff there were phenomenal, and they were just absolutely embraced it. So yeah, they came to the first event, and after that they've just been coming back ever since. So they brought primary teams, they brought secondary teams, they've gone above and beyond to ensure that they've met all the children's individual needs. And when they come to our events, they'll participate in it, but then they'll go and take the children out for like a celebratory lunch or another activity before they then go back home. So it just shows what the power of sport can do. And we've had it where they've brought children along and they've turned up, and then they've actually seen that their school is actually competing as well. So they're representing the hospice, and they're kind of torn, like, oh, hospice team or school team. But it's brilliant. We should have more hospices involved, because them children should not miss out. And I know Darian House, as a result of being involved in Panathlon, I've been into the hospice and I've delivered a couple of inclusive sport sessions. And like I said, they've been to our events, and they've got a funding bid accepted, and they've got their own equipment now. So when they have youth clubs, they can deliver the sports in-house. They've got their adapted minibus where they transport the kids. They've now as well, they've now got actual team kits, so that the kids, when they come, can have like a Darian, they're called Darian Dynamos. And I just think, wow, that's brilliant. Let's have more like you. So
yeah, I absolutely love that, and I completely agree. It is that bit of why should children miss out? Because definitely. Again, what we can do, and there's the adaptions and things we can offer and things like that. But again, it's about creating opportunity and awareness about what can be achieved.
Yeah, and you just got to think outside the box, haven't you?
Yeah.
So, it's like, let's make it happen.
Oh well, and by all means here, yourself and Bolton Wanderers are making it happen. It's happening. So we've got through, obviously we had the pandemic. We came to the end of that and started talking to schools, live events and things. Talk to me about this last academic year.
Oh, it's been manic. Schools have just loved having that face-to-face opportunity again. So we didn't really know how it was going to go this year because nobody did with the pandemic. So, it was a case of, well, let's put a bit of virtual on, see what schools want to do that. Let's put the face-to-face on, let's see what the uptake's like, and then let's take it from there. So there was kind of not really a set program as such. We knew what activities we wanted to deliver, but it was kind of just month on month, like taking it as it came as to, when the time was right. We have still had, I think it was only last month, we were affected by COVID within the local schools. So you're automatically getting teams having to pull out at last minute. And so you just had to be really, really flexible. But the program just grew so much last year. It was absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, it really, really was. And so much so that obviously last year we ended up hosting in Bolton quite a lot of county finals as well, for the 10 Greater Manchester boroughs. We then also hosted 3 Northwest regional finals, which we'd never done before. And it was phenomenal. Like at the regional finals, we were having schools travel from Cumbria, from Cheshire, from Merseyside, from Lancashire. And it was just absolutely amazing. Yeah, I personally loved every minute of it. Thankfully, the kids did too.
Yeah, I think, and that's the thing. And I think now, is that, so do you think as well that's helped the awareness around Bolton Wanderers as well? The fact is you can host these events and actually more schools are coming to them?
Yeah, because I mean, through using the power of the football club as well, what we've been able to do is when schools have won events, we've give them ground tours of the football club. So they've been going in the first team changing room, they've been having the photos taken pitch side. So there's been loads of other opportunities that we could give them. We've give them complimentary tickets to go and watch home matches. And that's something that we're really, really looking to build on going into this new season as well. Yeah, and even just like promoting what Panathlon offers in match day programs on the website, things like that, hopefully Bolton is a big borough, so there might still be schools that haven't accessed the Panathlon activities that we offer, that might just be a supporter of the club and on a match day think, oh my goodness, wow, let's give Debbie a ring on Monday. That's the hope.
Yeah, let's hope. And I think that's it. And I think, what I think the important bit to realise for anyone is it's never too late to join in.
No, absolutely not.
It's never too late. So if you haven't seen it and you see it in the programme or you see it on the website, or you see what goes on, it's never too late.
No, and like, for example, on one of our primary panathlons, we opened that up to 8 schools and we ended up getting 24 register. So we just repeated it another 2 days. So obviously, we might not be able to do that in every event, but where we can, if we know that schools want to get involved with us, then we will make it happen. And the beauty of the growth in Bolton is that other boroughs within Greater Manchester now are replicating the programme that we've delivered, and we're trying to streamline them to put their Panathlon events on at certain terms so that they can then feed winning teams into the county finals. We're also working with other surrounding counties as well to try and get really embed that Northwest pathway.
Oh, I love it. It's exciting just talking about it.
I love it.
It sounds awesome. So we've sort of touched a little bit on it just there. So where do you see, obviously beginning the academic year coming up, where do you see the partnership going? Even whether it's even just this next academic year or beyond, where do you see it going?
It continues to gain strength. It's a real positive partnership, and we can positively deliver change. you know, we just want to inspire more people, more schools, you know, more partnerships to come on board with us, and really embed disability sport, not only in Bolton, but to the wider Northwest region, really. I know I've just been trying to get all my calendar of events ready for September, and I'm up to nearly 40. So it's just really, really growing. But, you know, like we said, there are so many children with disabilities out there that maybe still haven't yet had that opportunity to be involved in inclusive sport. And not only that within their school curriculum or extracurricular, but just to get out and represent a team and feel that pride of belonging and going back to your school, to your celebration assembly, and, you know, wearing your Panathlon medal with pride and showing your certificate, maybe taking the trophy home. You know, we just want to create that for as many more children with disabilities as we possibly can. And Panathlon is the perfect outlet to do that.
Brilliant, brilliant. So last question before I let you go. So, and actually we can let's put this in relation to Bolton. If there is someone who is hearing this podcast in a school in Bolton, it might be anywhere around the UK, and going, right, we've never done it, and we're sort of sat on the fence a little bit and going, oh, I'm not sure, what would you say to them?
Oh my goodness, pick up the phone and give us a call. It is so easy to become involved in. You know, we provide that leadership training, we come and we'll run the events for you, and you know, there's so much more that we can offer besides that face-to-face events. There's so much more that you can do that will enhance your school PE curriculum, your lunch clubs. You know, we appreciate that a lot of children, we've got school transport, so we maybe can't run a program like you would in the mainstream where it takes place after school. And the majority of our events are all in that school day because of that. But please just get on our website, pick up the phone and find out what Panathlon can do for you in your area, because there's so many opportunities out there.
Amazing. Debbie, it's been great that we finally managed to get this done. It's been a few months in the conversation around getting this done, but thank you so much for your time.
Oh,
and
no.
I'll look forward to I'll probably have to come and see you at some point. I'll probably
That would
be
be
up that.
lovely.
I'll
You're
probably
more
up
than
that way.
welcome to the stadium.
I'll be up
Maybe
that
come
way
on
at some
match
point.
day.
Yeah. Oh, don't. Yeah. Just send me some stuff and we'll get it sorted.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
No problem. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm Dom Fenton. This is Panathlon People, and we'll see you again soon. Take care now. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.